Okay, this may have been one of the best first impressions for mascaras that I've had in a very long time, but after weeks of testing, I'm going to tell you whether or not the Rituel de Fille mascara is worth it. I also find comparisons really help me when I'm trying to find really anything. I am going to battle this a little face off against one of my current favorite mascaras, which is the Sweed Pro Lash Lift mascara. For this one, you can currently click a link below and get a discount for a limited time. Just want to put that out there, but we're comparing the two of these together. And you can always see more of my favorites out of the thousands of products that I've tried. Those are the winners currently. I try and update that quarterly. I tried monthly. That did not work. All right, so I have no mascara on my face right now. I'm going to apply the Rituel de Fille. I'm going to call that RDF just because I'm lazy and I want to abbreviate everything. Everything's an acronym now. At a high level price comparison wise, the RDF mascara is $28. The Sweed mascara is $30. It comes in a black and brown. This is currently only in a jet black, which I can tell you off the bat, this is a very strong pigment. RDF has a very soft, narrow, bristled brush, and the Sweed has a really interesting brush as well. On one side, it has a silicone brush. On the other side, it's flat. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Overall, for sustainability, RDF is doing a lot of things, actually, so I was really happy to see. This is made out of 94% PCR, post-consumer recycled plastic, which is a very high percentage. And they're also using what's called biofibers made out of, I believe, a castor oil plant. All of the in-depth stuff is back on the scorecard. But yes, they are taking a look at sustainability. Black plastics are notoriously hard to recycle, but anything small is going to be tricky either way. So again, details back there. I'm just happy to say that they are looking and thinking about the earth and the planet and the life cycle of this product. I've mentioned this already, but you can see full in-depth scorecards, every detail you ever wanted to know, and probably more you didn't even know you needed to know for the RDF mascara now. And then you can also see the full scorecard for the Sweed mascara if you do end up wanting to check it out. Also, I had a shower cap on today for like 30 minutes and it left a mark, and it hasn't gone. So it's a new trend, shower cap mark. Application. Like I mentioned, this was a very strong first impression. It's a thicker formula, but it's not heavily clumpy or goopy on the brush. Mascaras, I'm just gonna kind of brush this through and you'll see this kind of gives really strong payoff quickly. But mascaras tend to either, after the first week I've used them, they either need a minute. Do you know what I mean? When you open up a brand new fresh mascara, the formula itself is just not ready yet. It needs a little oxygen in it. I don't know what that's about, but if you know, you know. The RDF came out of the gate killing it, doing a very good job. And the Sweed needed a minute, I think, to ramp up to where it was. Gonna do a little wiggle. The narrowness of this brush is actually really nice too. I find it really easy to control. A lot of the brushes right now have curves, I've noticed. I don't mind that. I think that's actually easy to work with at this point. But when you're trying to get into corners, those curves can be a little bit tricky, especially if it's a thicker formula, you know? So this is barely building. I'm just doing light swipes. And as you can see, it's showing up in volume and in length. And I'm going to show you a close-up demo as well, so you can kind of get the real deal close-ups. Also, this is a creamy formula, like I mentioned, but it's not drying down very quickly in between applications. And I rarely use a lash curler. What I end up doing every time is I take the barrel of the mascara, I leave my eye open, I just look down, roll it up a little bit, and that's just... it just works every time. I love it. And you just kind of wipe off the barrel. Sweed. So this is a little bit different. Like I mentioned, you're going to get a bit of a brush, very small, raised kind of knot nubs. Sounds not appealing at all. That's what's on one side. And then you have a flat side for the other side. This, I always get like hands in the way when I'm filming mascaras. I've yet to figure it out. But this has more of a scent to it. RDF has no scent to it. I have contact lenses that I wear. I have sensitive eyes. That's just one layer, and I didn't even spend a lot of time on it. So one layer of this, it applies very well. I would say that this is a little less thick than the other formula. And I'm using the silicone brush side, but there is a flat side here. And I started, when I first used it, I started with the flat side. And I was really freaked out. I was like, what does this even do? Why? But you can deposit more product with that flat side, and then it helps you, what I just did with the barrel of the RDF mascara, it helps you do that with the actual brush and wand. So application here is probably a little bit trickier, but you can get the hang of it pretty quickly. This is also more of a wet formula, so it builds easily as well, but they're both building pretty easily right now. I'm seeing pretty strong lift as well, but let's talk about volume for the RDF mascara. You see one coat, it's been a minute. I'm going to try and put another coat on. I usually wouldn't wait this long, but the volume here blew me away. It's root to tip volume, and it really does travel up the lash because of, they have film formers in here, there is a polymer in here, and I'm not getting a lot of clumping of lashes right now. It's just wow. It's just wow, root to tip. I really gave them a very strong score for volume. They received a 5 out of 5 there, and it kind of speaks for itself at the moment. The Sweed I really like because it sort of looks like very natural lash extensions. For me, this is more of a root volume, and it goes to the tips of the lashes, but it really is very strong at the root, and it kind of creates this beautiful defined lash look. So if you're looking for something that, see, that still shows up quite a bit, and you can build and build and build with both of these, which is so great, because sometimes it can be annoying when you can't do that and it dries down super fast, you know. But if you're looking for something that is a bit more versatile in the sense that it can do very, very natural, or it can build up to a nice amount of defined volume, Sweed is a really great option to look at. But that Rituel de Fille, it's reminding me so much of the Bite mascara, that RIP Bite, but less messy. And if you've been in this world for a bit and you've been following this channel, I loved that mascara. It was a messier volume, more of a glam volume, whatever, more of a bold volume, but I really, really liked it. Length. They're both really, really strong. So for RDF, when you're seeing the root to tip for the volume, that's great. But the lashes, that also means that the lashes are going to look evenly lengthened across. Really, really strong. 5 out of 5 for length for the RDF mascara. And then the Sweed, the length that I see here is also very, very strong. A little more fluttery, a little bit more natural looking, soft lash extension like. But what's happening on the Sweed side is it's giving me, when I used to use the Ilia Limitless lash, it gives that like top flip without trying really hard. And I know that sounds like a random detail, but again, if you tried quite a few mascaras and you're always looking for something that curls and gives that little flick at the end, this is doing a good job with that, the Sweed. The RDF is also doing a phenomenal job. They're both really good at lengthening. Just depends on the overall lash look that you gravitate towards most. Here's one spot where they differ, and that's the wear test. So the RDF mascara, I do multiple wear tests, and the thing I want to mention to you about this, which was kind of a bummer, but not a deal breaker bummer, but when you're using a mascara over and over again, sometimes it needs a minute to kind of get its sea legs, basically, is what I'm gonna say. Sometimes too much air gets in there, something happens with the formula, and it gets too dry too quickly. And at this stage of the game, I still see a creamy formula, but I'm seeing a little bit of clumping on the brush and a little bit more dryness that I would like to see after 2 weeks of testing. Usually this is the consistency that I would see after maybe a couple of months. I don't like to keep mascaras for a long time. I don't mess with that because I had an eye infection from an old mascara once. That was enough to teach me. Don't chance it. It's like the chicken in the fridge that's been there for 4 days and you're like, maybe. Don't chance it. This did dry out a little bit, and I think as a result of that, and I never pump, by the way, never pumping the mascara tube. I don't know what happened in the 90s and that was a thing, or 80s maybe, I don't know. It is drying out a little bit, and by the end of the day, I did end up seeing flaking a little bit and smudging on the outer corner of the eye. Usually I give it a couple times because one day I can be more active, or maybe, I don't know. 3 out of 5 for me. If you've tried any of these products, have you tried the Sweed? Have you tried the RDF? What was your experience with them? Let us know in the comments below, because I'm just an opinion of one here, so what works for me may not work for you and vice versa. But the Sweed wear test, I can tell you very easily, incredibly solid. Very good. Didn't see anything, no fallout, flaking, barely a smudge on the outer corner, even on the most humid days over the summer. A really, really strong wear test. So the Sweed score on the scorecard was a 19 out of 20. RDF score, 18 out of 20. They're so close. But if you could see the lashes right now, they're looking good. These are two very, very strong mascaras in the space. You know, it may put you over the fence if you want to get the 20% off for Sweed. I don't have a code again for RDF at the moment, although I might have something by the time I publish this. So check out the scorecard. I'm not just saying that to get you to go there. I really, truly don't know if I'm going to have the code until tomorrow when I publish this. I'm working on it. I am always working on getting codes for you guys. So if I do, I will put it on the website. A week ago, I would have told you that RDF might... I don't think I can kick Sweed off yet. I can't. It's just, I love the effect that it has. It's very different. This Pro Lash one, I am going to try their other mascara. I have their Cloud Mascara. I'm going to test that out too. I have it in brown, by the way, which I think will be interesting. But I'm not ready to kick this off of the Britt's Picks list. It's still one of my favorites. And a week ago, I would have told you RDF would have to be included on the list, but I'm going to keep watching the level of this formula and see if it gets a little drier or not. Which are you choosing out of these two? If it's Sweed, comment Sweed. It's RDF, comment RDF. If you're like, neither, I have a better one, and I want to tell it to you, put in the comments. You can look at the mascara playlist over here to your heart's content. Ask me anything in the comments below. I love answering your questions, and I just realized that I can answer your questions with YouTube Shorts, so I'm gonna give that a try. But if you have questions, ask them. I'm really happy with both these mascaras. I just really wanted to share it with you, so hope this was helpful. If it was, don't forget to hit that like button. It's a little thing that you can do that makes a big difference over here, and I will see you right back here with more reviews very soon. Bye.